Hello everyone, welcome to SIUK India webinar. Thank you for joining us today. We are now live with Derby University. Today we have Gail and Sim with us who will let us know more about this special webinar session. Please feel free to post all the questions in the chat box on the right. We will answer all the questions after the presentation during the Q&A session. So let's start. Over to you, Gail or Sim.
Hello and good afternoon, everyone. I just pass on to my colleague Gail, who is from the business school, and provided the internet works well, she'll be leading us today. And if not, I'll just jump in and wing it, basically. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Gail, over to you.
Okay, to everybody, hello and welcome. I just want to check first of all the technology just to make sure that everybody can hear me okay and the internet is not breaking up. So I'm just going to pause for a second just for some reaction, see whether everyone can hear me today. Okay, so I will carry on. Okay, thank you. So my name is Gail Rippleton. And I work at the University of Derby in the Derby Business School. And as it says on the slide, I am responsible for our collaborative partner. So I manage the international students that come to study with us, but they don't study on campus, as hopefully you might be doing. They actually study overseas with one of our collaborative partners. I understand you can't at the moment.
So in the meantime, I'll take over. So apologies, everyone, because it seems to be some technical difficulties. Honestly, I've had some really bad internet about an hour ago because there should be a storm coming. So please accept our apologies. Now, to introduce, I'm Sim, and I work at the University of Derby. Gail is one of my colleagues from the business school. I don't work in the business school, but I know some things. So if we don't mind, let's move to the next slide. So what we want to talk to you today about is Derby Business School. Derby Business School is the largest school in the University of Derby, and it's extremely focused on employability and working closely with students. And we'll speak about all of these things later throughout the presentation. Just wanted to highlight here that Derby Business School, or DBS, you might see me moving between the two things, has been awarded the Small Business Chartered by the Chartered Association of Business Schools. It in essence recognizes the excellence of the business schools in supporting student enterprise, small business, and especially the local economy. The University of Derby, being the only university in Derby, is really, really focused in engaging very well with the city. It's focused, engaging really well with the region, and it has a lot of ties and links to a number of of large, small, medium, and large employers in the area. As you can see on your screen, we're full members of the European Foundation for Management Development, which helps us develop and cooperate and enhance excellence in management education. So for anyone looking at an MBA, that's definitely something you need to think of. So moving on to the next slide, please, Lita. I just want to speak briefly about the campus. So the university, in essence, is a rather large university. We have approximately 20,000 students. And the business school is hosted on our main campus. We have a lot of facilities for all the students. We have a huge library, as you can imagine, which is even 24/7. I'm not sure how you will be as students, but I know I didn't necessarily go to the library at midnight, but you do have the options of ordering a pizza there if you have a late study session. There's plenty of study areas as well, but also not just thinking of of studying. We have an amazing sports center for anyone who's interested in sports. There's plenty of sports societies or social societies if you want to meet other colleagues, or just engage with the university, a wider audience. There's cafes and everything. And of course, if you're worried, but please, we can take these questions towards the end. There's plenty of accommodation available for yourselves. But what I want to highlight right now is a nice picture you see on the screen. It's a huge investment by the university right at the heart of the city. It's going to be the new Derby Business School, which everything's green light. So we're starting building that to be finished in September, 2 years from now. So hopefully that gives you a good idea of how much we invest in our students and the options and opportunities you have in a large university such as Derby. So Alita, next slide, please. We have excellent academics working with us. One of the main things when you look at a university to move into is looking at the research that the academics who will be teaching you are actually doing. So in essence, you will be taught by people who are at the forefront of academic research, who know the latest developments. For example, our lecturers include influential researchers, authors, or experienced consultants. Many of our colleagues worked in large corporations and who had the ability to gain a lot of real world experience, and some of them have plenty of years of research behind them. So to give you an idea of our research areas, we look at sustainable business and clean growth. The university places a great emphasis on green technologies and green development. We also work closely with it. We also develop the supply chain improvement for the simple reason that Derby is in the heart of England. The city is in the heart of England, and it is located. It's one of the biggest logistics areas of the UK actually, and it's close to East Midlands Airport, which is the largest cargo airport in the UK, and also Centre for Business Improvement. As we said, we work very closely with local businesses and so forth. So next slide, please, Alita, if you don't mind. I feel like I'm gonna be saying next slide, please, quite a bit today. So thank you very much, Alita, for paying attention. But anyway, getting back to the presentation, one of the key features is one of why students love studying at Derby so much is that during your studies, you actually have the chance of engaging with real world learning. In essence, all of our students have the chance of not just studying the theoretical aspects of business, but my apologies, but also actually engaging with it. For example, our students work on a number of consultancy projects. There's a lot of networking events that are organized by the business school. So you have the option of meeting business leaders and local businesses to gain more insights on how things work in the real world. For example, we have the Bloomberg's Financial Lab, Markets Lab, where you can try and where you can test how you would actually perform yourself on the stock market. And even when you're studying, even when you're looking at the theoretical part, the theoretical part will be based on actual real world examples and how things developed. And lastly but not least, there's plenty of guest lectures coming from high profile business leaders. Next slide, please, Lisa. And on your screen, you can see the number of companies that our colleagues have gone to work at, former students. As I said at the beginning, the University of Derby places a great emphasis on employability. And for that reason, you can see what you see in this small a snapshot of companies where students went to work either on a placement during the second and third year, or after graduation. I'm sure you can recognize some names. As you can see, even Tata Consultancy, there's Rolls-Royce, because there's Rolls-Royce Aero Engines based in Derby, Lloyd's Banking Group, PricewaterhouseCoopers. So there's plenty of opportunities and options available for you. So next slide, please. Not just that, there's just not just national opportunities. There's also plenty of international opportunities. And if you look at the pictures below, the first one with the EU Business School, I believe that's in Barcelona. So our colleagues may had the chance of doing work placements and internships with students abroad. And the last pictures is students on a trip to view the BMW factory in China. So as I mentioned, we put great emphasis of you understanding how the real work works. So you can sometimes spend a year or a semester studying at one of our partner institutions, or a work placement, or just a small study trip to actually see how business is seen in different ways in many other countries. So hopefully that gives you an idea of the international outlooks you would have. So next slide, please, Alita. And one of the key things we're extraordinarily proud of is that all our courses that you can see are professionally accredited. So our BA in Business Management is accredited by the Chartered Management Institute. Our International Business Management is dual accredited by the Institute of Management Accountants, and also the Chartered Management Institute. Our marketing one is by the Institute of Marketing. So what this tells you, in essence, is that you are assured of a good quality course with excellent employability prospects afterwards, where you can focus on studying the theoretical part alongside a really good practical real world experience. Next slide, please. Talking about undergraduate programs. So right after you finish your standard 12, what you'd be keen on studying, we have 6 areas where you can you could be starting to look at. For example, if you look at international business, the course of international business, you can select it with pathways in either international relations, economics, finance, or supply chain and logistics. Same if you choose something in marketing, you can either do it in digital marketing or PR and advertising. So in essence, the system is made in such a way that starting from your second year of university, you start selecting which modules and which part of international business or business management you wish to specialize. There's less specialization, of course, in accounting or economics and finance, but overall it gives you a broad understanding of what of the field itself. But moving on from undergraduate programs, I mean, they're quite self-explanatory. I was going to say, next slide, please. We have a similar study themes at postgraduate programs. Business, international marketing, and of course accounting. So these are, after you've graduated, you've gotten a bit of work experience. These are the specific postgraduate programs you could come in and join us on. Of course, what I want to say to you specifically at this point, you don't have to have graduated in a degree which says international business to study a Master of Science in International Business with Derby. You should have a business background or attached to it, and ideally some work experience. However, postgraduate programs in the UK are rather, how to say it, are rather flexible. Therefore, it allows you options of changing career paths if you're not necessarily happy with your undergraduate provision, in essence. So this is just but if you have any questions, my colleagues can relay them to me and we can answer them afterwards. That's not a problem at all. So I'm just going to move to the next slide now. One of the key features which we have here at Derby is, for example, you have studied 2 years of your undergraduate degree at your university, and are looking at finishing abroad. So if you finish in either in the courses which are listed on the screen right now, you are able to apply for only final year. So just studying 1 year with us. So it is quite, if you're thinking, right, I started here, but I'd rather finish abroad, that's always an option. The application process is rather straightforward for these as well. It just may take a bit longer, but my colleagues can definitely help you through it. But I think this is quite self-explanatory. So next slide, please. Just to give you a highlight of Derby, we have, as I said, we're really engaging and open university. We have a large number of international students with us. Currently, we have almost 1,000 international students with us. They come from all over the world. Quite a big contingent, I'd say, from India, also from China, the United States as well, and Europe, of course, because we are rather close to Europe. So you would feel right at home. There's plenty of options and opportunities for you to engage with students from all over the world. We've invested over 200 million pounds, and we're continuing to invest hundreds of million pounds in facilities. As you can see from all the pools, we have excellent student learning experience, and we welcome students very well from a variety of backgrounds. And I think, I'm not sure how many slides there are, but next slide, please. Oh, that's quite straightforward. Just want to say thank you to all of you who have listened to me. If you have any questions, please use the chat box or anything. And either email my colleague Gail or yeah, get in touch with us or my colleagues from SIK, and then we'll be able to speak to you or offer you more information. I want to say a huge thank you for listening to me this morning.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sim, for such a knowledgeable presentation. We are now moving towards the Q&A session. So the first question the student is asking, how is entrepreneurship path for an international student?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question, Deepika?
Yeah. How is entrepreneurship path for an international student? Like they're asking, how is the business field for an international student to study?
Oh, I understand. Okay, so sorry, I misunderstood the question, but thank you for putting it through. I mean, the business field for an international student is it's no different in many ways for that of a UK student. In terms of opportunities and everything, I'd say you get the same ones, and many international students are extremely driven themselves at the same time. Is there? I'm not. Alita, is there anything you'd like to add here by any chance? Because I know the question is rather broad. That's something I'm trying to see if there's anything else for me to say. Because I wouldn't say there's much difference in terms of that. It's a very international field in essence. And many years ago, I was an international student myself in the UK, and I'm still here. So I guess that's a good sign. But yeah. Deepika, do you think that covers the question, or have I gone a completely different tangent?
No, it was okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so may I ask the second question?
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah. The student is asking, can you please tell me deadline for 2022 intake? Also, if there is any scholarships available.
So the deadline for the 2022 intake is, I'd say, ideally, you put in your application April, May latest. For the simple reason, because it takes time for it to be reviewed, and you need to look at visas and everything, and it takes a while, especially visa application these days, for some reason, take a million years. With regards to scholarships, it really depends on whether you are looking at an undergraduate program or a postgraduate program. For the postgraduate program, so the masters, we have a large number of scholarships. So for example, any students joining us in September on a postgraduate course will be offered an automatic £2,000 discount alongside the option of applying for a variety of scholarships. We have three scholarships at postgraduate: the £5,000, £11,000, and full tuition fees for 1 year. They are based on a separate application form. So once you apply, you receive your conditional offer or unconditional offer from the university. You are able to apply to one of our scholarships. And they are purely academic merit based. So the higher your GPA or the higher your score in your undergraduate degree, the higher the chance of getting a scholarship. With regards to undergraduate programs, we have the £5,000 and the and the full tuition fees for the first year available, and it is exactly a similar process. So once you have received an offer from the university, you are then able to apply for a scholarship at the university, and hopefully that covers the question there. Are there any others, Deepika?
Yeah. Thanks, Sim. The next question. Thank you for today's presentation. What do you think are the pros and cons, if there is any, about getting a master's degree in the UK for international student?
I mean, the pros are, I mean, a UK degree is recognized worldwide. Um, you can take it and you can continue studying in the UK now with a continue working in the UK now with the graduate route. You can at the same time go abroad, if you want to work in the Netherlands, and if you want to work in the US or Australia, a degree is fully recognized in English speaking degree. The cons, I mean, it's to be honest, I think the first thing you'd notice is the weather. It is as almost as bad as they say, and then it is rather cold if you're coming somewhere very warm. Um, you might get a shock in terms of the weather, and also one of the cons is, and not necessarily a con, but in the UK the system is made such you have a lot of independent study, so no one's going to push you too much. If you don't do it, you don't do it. It's your fault. So sometimes international students have a difficulty in getting used to that, and it's a continuous period of assessment. You got an essay in September, October. You got a presentation in November, and then you got an essay in December. So it's a continuous period. So especially as a master's program, it's just 1 year long, one calendar year. You are thrown in the deep end from the beginning. So yeah, you in an ideal world, you do some pre-reading, you get an understanding of what lecture expect of you, and you'd get an understanding of how the system is different here than from India. So I think that's the con, is the culture shock you would face, but at the same time, it's really fun. So yeah, I'm all I'm saying is ensure that it's the right choice for you. And once you start a degree in the UK, once you start a postgraduate degree, it's very difficult to change. You can't really change. So make sure you research well exactly what you're going to study. Because once you're here after 6 months, even if you don't like it, there's not really many options you have. In all honesty, so it might be a more stricter, but also more flexible program that you're thinking of. But no, honestly, if in at the same time you can arrive 2-3 weeks earlier before the start of your course, to get a good understanding of the area, the language, and everything, because English, it's an interesting. The accents are different all over the place, so you might even have difficulty understanding the local accent at points. I mean, yeah, I mean, if I go to Ireland myself these days, I might have difficulty understanding someone because I spent most of my life in southeast England, close to London. So it's all the small little things that you might not be thinking now, but hopefully I've answered that. Gail, is there anything you want to add? I'm not sure if your connection's any better.
I will
think
try.
it is.
Can you
No,
can you hear
no,
me
it's
okay?
not. Nope. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go back to Deepika if there's any other questions available.
Yes, Sim, the next question. Please tell about the admission process for MBA. What is the average age of student attending your MBA? What about the post-study work visa?
Well, the admissions process for the MBA is as standard as any other. Firstly, you apply through our colleagues at SIUK, and they will guide you through the admissions process. Now, with regards to the average age, there's not information I have. I'm very sorry to say, but I don't think we even have that statistic. To be fair, and sorry, what was the last part of the question?
They're asking about the post-study work visa.
Oh yeah, of course. So in essence, what happens is once you have successfully graduated from your MBA, then you are eligible to apply for a post-study work visa. It's an independent application to the UK Visas and Immigration, so the Home Office in essence. It's a rather straightforward online application, so you don't have to do much. But everything's done online, and yeah, it's really straightforward. You just need your confirmation you graduated, and their web pages will guide you exactly what and how to do. I mean, the processing times vary. I know it has only been recently introduced. It was a bit longer to process. However, recently it's quite straightforward. So sometimes even 5 days to receive the post-study work visa. I hope that covered it.
Yeah, thank you, Sim.
Oh,
The
and
next
Gaz mentioning most MBA students are young working adults. So I'm assuming, let's say around the age between 25 and 35 on average, I think that would cover it. Most students do have some work experience coming in and studying their MBAs. Okay, sorry, apologies for interrupting you.
Thank you, Sim and Gail. The next question. Please tell about the admission process of MBA. No. Okay, sorry, I just covered this question.
No, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine.
The next question. Please tell about the MBA admission process. I
It's the
think
same
they're
one. Yeah, yeah.
asking more elaborated way.
I mean, when we're looking at an MBA application, we need the undergraduate degree, we need the CV, and we need the work experience. Ideally, we need to have work experience. And obviously, one of the most important things is the English language requirement, having an IELTS or a TOEFL or a Cambridge or the Derby English language test. But the Derby English language test is valid only for the University of Derby. A part of that, it is a reference. As a part of that, it is a straightforward application process. We don't expect students to take the GMAT or any similar test. It is based on previous qualifications, experience, and English language alongside references that we review applications on. Hopefully that covered, because I know they would apply via yourself, so Deepika. So I think that can be covered by SIUK, the exact steps in processing. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, you're right, Sim. The next question. I have 2 years of experience in public relations and digital journalism. Any special PG course which I can apply for?
I mean, it's also, I mean, fine, the experience is fine, but depends also what your undergraduate degree is in. If it really depends. Most of them are, you would normally be able to apply for most of our business courses. However, you have to have some loose connection to business, especially in your undergraduate degree, because the work experience is fine, but the level of a postgraduate degree in the UK is quite high, and we would only accept students who we sure they're actually gonna who have the best chance of graduating successfully, because there's no point in accepting a student who wouldn't be successful on the course. That's what I'm saying. It really depends on the performance in the undergraduate as well, alongside the IELTS. We can't direct students where to go. It's a personal choice which course you take. What I can suggest is go on the website and look exactly on what actually what the modules are for each course? Does it fit in with your career aspiration? Does it fit in with what you've done so far, and what you're looking for? In essence, that's what I'm saying, is just you need to research very well what what you would study.
Thank you, Sim. The next question: what is the IELTS score needed? Is PTE or Duolingo accepted?
We accept PT. We do not accept Duolingo. We need something like IELTS 6.5 with minimum of 6.0 in writing and no less than 5.5 to come on our postgraduate courses, or the equivalent at Pearson.
Thank you, Sim. The next question: what is the employability rate of postgraduates in marketing and communications?
I personally don't have that granular level data. Gail, if you have that data, please feel free to type it, because that's not something I hold. I'm afraid. No, Gail doesn't have it either. So we don't have data on that low level.
Okay, thank you. The next question: I have 3 years of experience in online marketing. Can I apply for international relations? Is there any specialized course for 1 year?
I mean, they're all 1 year. And as I said, it really, really depends what your undergraduate degree has. What we're looking at is, if you have, as Gail said, if you have the knowledge at undergraduate level to be successful, that's what we're looking for. So, okay, you have the work experience. However, what is your academic experience as well? And have you been successful academically, and will you be successful academically? That's what we need to look at.
Thank you, Sim. The next question: what are the accommodation facilities available?
Oh, that's easy. That's the easiest question I've got so far. So we have plenty of accommodation available on our campus. It is dotted throughout the city, so from like 10-15 minute walk or bus ride away from the campus. It's usually what it is. It's your own room, your own washroom, and you share the kitchen. What also matters is, what also we have is sometimes studios as well, where you have your own kitchen, but it's just one person per room usually.
Thank you, Sim. The next question: can I pay my fees in installments? Do we have any loan option from the university?
There are no loan options. However, you can pay your fees in installments. So firstly, a deposit of £3,000, and then you have 5 installments. You can pay your fees in 5 installments, equal installments throughout the year.
Thank you, Sim. The last question: can Indian class 12th English accepted for PG admission as proof of English?
Sorry. Can you please repeat that? I'm very sorry.
Yeah, no problem. Can English class 12th accepted for PG admission as proof of English language?
No.
Okay. So if to the student who have asked this question, there will be no IELTS waive off.
We only accept if it's right after graduating your undergraduate degree, if it's either CBSE, CISE, or Maharashtra board with a minimum 75%.
Okay.
But in most cases, students need to take an IELTS test.
Okay, so I think I've covered all the questions from the chat box. Many thanks for answering all the questions so well and sharing your knowledge with us.
No, thank you, everyone.
Yeah,
and thank you to yourself.
Yeah, thank you. So we are now moving towards the end of this seminar. I would request you, if you have anything else you would like to put forward for the audience who are watching us live right now.
Unless Alita has anything to say, I think we're covered most of it.
Yeah, I think you've covered everything. Nothing's springing to mind for me.
Thank you. Just last thing then, any questions, email us and we'll do our best to answer them. If we don't know it, we'll forward your question to someone who does.
Thank you, Sim and Alita. Also, thank you so much. Just 1 second. Yeah. Thank you so much, Gail, for joining us today. Really sorry about your internet problem. So, in the end, I would like to say thank you so much for your valuable time today. And to all the students who are watching us live right now, please feel free to contact SIUK India offices. We'll be more than happy to help you with anything you need. And thank you so much in the end for your kind words to all the hosts who joined us today. And now we are ending this seminar.
Thanks
Bye
all.
bye.